Thank you, our musicians. President Howlett, the faculty, staff, officers of the university, guests, and candidates are assembled, and the hour is at hand. With your permission, may these proceedings begin? They may begin. Thank you. Please be seated and turn off your cell phones. Thank you. And welcome today to the School for International Training's 55th commencement exercise. I'm Michael Zoll, SIT's Dean of Student Health, Safety, and Wellbeing, and I'm honored to be here with you today. And we are presented today with a very unique and special opportunity. First, we welcome two graduates from the class of 2020. They virtually walked across the stage last year, but not physically, and today they are here to do so. Second, we welcome our 16 students. Today we also welcome our 16 students who could not be here in person. This is from the class of 2021. They are joining us live by live stream. They're not here, but they're here. You note the cameras through the room. And we welcome them. And they're also joined by several other people. Some of our board members, our colleagues, friends of SIT, alumni, family members. They're also joining us by live stream today. And we welcome you. And finally, our 2021 graduates who are here in Vermont present with us today. 11 students receiving their master's degree, joined by their family and friends, our board members, alumni, and SIT faculty and staff. Welcome to you. Today is a joyous day, a day marked by appreciation, pride, and accomplishment. Our graduates have run the race. They've crossed the finish line, they've persisted, and now they rightly celebrate their significant accomplishment. Today is also marked by transition and new beginnings. As such, it's a time of contemplation and pondering of what lies ahead. Consider poet Ella Wheeler Wilcox's perspective in her now century-old poem called The Winds of Fate. One ship drives east and another drives west, with the self-same winds that blow. 'Tis the set of the sails and not the gales which tell us the way to go. Like the winds of the sea are the winds of fate as we voyage along through life. 'Tis the set of a soul that decides its goal, and not the calm or the strife. Congratulations, graduates, here and afar, on your significant academic accomplishment. I now have the distinct honor of introducing our president, Dr. Sophia Howlett. Leading the School for International Training since 2017, Dr. Howlett holds a PhD in European Renaissance philosophy and literature from York University in the UK, and an MA and BA in English literature from Cambridge University. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sophia Howlett.
In the tradition of the Academy, and as President of the School for International Training, I, Sophia Howlett, officially convene this 55th annual commencement ceremony. A warm welcome to our platform party. As I introduce each member of our platform, I would ask them to stand. Ms. Carol Jenkins, CEO of World Learning, Inc. Dr. Michael Zoll, who you've already met, Dean of Student Health, Safety, and Wellbeing. Dr. Catherine Inskeep, Dean of Assessment and Learning Support. Mr. Eric Worth, Vice President, Associate Vice President of Enrollment Services. Dr. Leslie Turpin, Faculty Speaker and Associate Professor and Chair of Matt Teasel. This is Ms. Daniel Purvis, SIT student speaker. Ms. Aisha Naomi Cooper, keynote speaker, alumna, and World Learning Board member. And last but not least, Ms. Carla Lineback, Director of Alumni and External Engagement. And now a warm welcome to all of you, graduates, friends, family, and alumni, both here in Vermont and those connected remotely across the globe. Today is a day of contrasts. The joy of being together with the presence of our community online. We're in person and we're also together online. We have people who are here with us, and it's amazing to be together again. And then there are people who are absent. Some are only absent in other countries, and some have left us over the past few years. And Aisha, I know that you are going to refer to that during your speech. In mine, I just also want to note a sad absence from our website, temporarily, of the research and work of our Afghan students, who we've had to remove from our website for capstones temporarily, while we just check in on them and see that they're okay. So we're also thinking of our Afghan students and those communities that they worked with and touched, and who SIT graduates worked with and connected with over the years. But we also have somebody else who's absent today, unfortunately, and that is our Dean of Faculty. You probably noticed in the lineup, our Senior Academic Officer is absent. That's because he is in Morocco, but he has sent me a speech, and I know that he's watching this online and probably checking in that I'm reading his speech properly. So allow me to read out his greetings to all of you and congratulations. This is from Dr. Saeed Groweed, who is our SIT Dean of Faculty and Interim Chief Academic Officer. Let me first start by congratulating you. It is an immense honor and a pleasure to share with you this beautiful landmark moment in your life. How memorable will this year or couple of years be? You will be remembered as the class that did it all. You have weathered the storm and survived graduate school during one of the most difficult sanitary crises in modern history, smoothly transitioning back and forth from a purely immersive experience to a rich virtual university engagement, and in some cases, not having that immersive experience because you had to stay online. You are the proof that crises can generate an outlook of optimism and positive rebirths. You have succeeded, despite all these tribulations, to contribute unimaginable strides to the world's march towards social, racial, and climate justice and peace. Class of 2021, wherever you are, you have also done something that is hardly thinkable. You have pushed forward with determination and perseverance, with incommensurable sacrifices and tenacity, and you have succeeded in completing your graduate degree. Hats off. How many people can boast this? As the French poet and dramatist Pierre Corneille would say, and here Saeed is making me speak French with my British accent, à vaincre sans péril, on triomphe sans gloire. To conquer without peril, we triumph without glory. This was not an easy path, and you will remain in our Hall of Fame. Congratulations. And yet we are not surprised. You are SIT. You are of the tradition of alumni that are ready, despite all headwinds, to engage with the critical global issues that challenge our common humanity. For generations, this institution has trained leaders who are inspired in everything they do, with the creation of an inclusive, equitable, and just world. This is all the more important today in that your generation has reckoned with the pervasiveness of inequity and rightly wants transformation now. As graduates of this institution, we count on you, wherever you are, to carry SIT tradition and your experiential engagement with peers, community members, virtual and immersive, and fellow human beings across the world. We have made you, we hope, the ideal candidate to take on the challenging goals of transforming the world. I am confident that you will. You are ready. This class of 2021 and 2020, the class that has seen it all, is ready. Class of 2021, Saeed says, I am humbled to be a member of your community as you walk towards a bright future, our bright future. Thank you, Saeed. It's difficult to say anything after that, but I'm just going to give you a few words. As I said, this is all about contrast today. So absence and presence, those who are with us and those who are not. But there's another contrast that I want to talk to you about very briefly. You've overcome stops and starts. You've lost your face-to-face in many cases. You've had to move countries. We've had to evacuate you. At the beginning of this week, I challenged those who were capstoning to think about their vision, what they want the future to be. I want to refer us now to a second contrast between our desire to change the big things, like climate change, supporting refugees to learn a new language, thinking about our well-being as people, as humanity, and the contrast between those things and the local and the personal. I think you know that going into careers that try to tackle the big issues, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs out there. Changing the world is complicated, it's messy, and it's difficult, and it's going to go wrong at times, a lot of times. Things are going to go wrong. The clarity of vision is so important, so that you can get up every day and know what it is that you're striving for, right? So that you can feel at the end of the day that maybe you've moved a little bit forward. But there are also going to be days when that doesn't happen, and it could even be longer than days. And I know that you know this, but there are going to be reversals. They can be minor, but they can also be big ones. Years spent on projects that fall away. Places where you thought your ideas had an impact, that suddenly are back where they started. And people who are finally recovering from disaster after years of redevelopment and disaster strikes again. I hope that SIT has given you support to find your big vision and your energy to go out there and try to tackle and get up every day and keep rolling up your sleeves and working on those issues. But I think that so much also comes down to that personal connection. And that's the contrast that I also want you to remember, alongside the big vision and the big picture. Because in many ways, that's what it comes down to. The personal connection, the local connection that I hope you have had during your studies, and that I hope that you're going to continue to make during your careers. You've also learned at SIT about connecting with people, with small communities, with a specific locale or environment, with an NGO. Go out with the knowledge that you have touched lives and will touch lives by what you're doing. You will touch places, and you have touched them already, and that they have touched you and changed you. By what you have done, you have already been changed. And the greatest gift that you might give our world is the way in which you impact and are changed by the lives and environment that you connect with over your career, that you will make in so many unexpected but fundamental ways, and change of other people and of places that you may even never know, but know that that is happening, just as you know how much they've changed you. Always be open to the change others can have on your lives. And always remember that we live to connect to others and to our environment, and to be strengthened mutually by those encounters. Thank you and congratulations. It is now my honor to recognize SIT Emerita professors and your teachers present with us today. Susan Bardoon, Beatrice Fantini, Alvino Fantini, and Elizabeth Tannenbaum, Leslie Turpin up on our stage, and Marty Anderson. But I do want you to know that there are a lot of people online right now who are all looking in and cheering you on from wherever they are. And following that, it is my pleasure also to introduce our faculty speaker, Dr. Leslie Turpin. With over 3 decades of service to SIT, Leslie serves as Associate Professor and Chair of the MA in TESOL program. She holds a PhD in Integral Studies from California Institute for Integral Studies, a Master's in TESOL from SIT, and a BA in Anthropology and Cultural Anthropology from Kenyon College. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Leslie Turpin.
I'll load up here. Thank you, Sophie, and thank you for your speech. That was just so moving for me and a hard act to follow. I am honored to speak to you. I'm here representing all of the faculty who can't be here, and it's my pleasure to do so. And I've decided not to write a speech, but to write a letter, because most of the writing that I've done for my career has been letters on student papers, and it's the most familiar and most intimate way to connect with all of you. So here goes. Dear graduates, while writing this letter, I came across the obituary of Jan Bloemert, a favorite ethnographer, educator. I better get my glasses. A favorite ethnographer, educator, and linguist. This might seem like a gloomy start, but obituaries are, I believe, celebratory. They offer a way to move through loss by distilling meaning, value, and purpose out of the messiness of life. The obituary also invites the reader to pause and contemplate their own trajectory, what meaning others will take from their life, what they will leave behind. Jan Bloemert devoted much of his life to learning and teaching. Of Jan, Philip Sargent wrote in his obituary in the Applied Linguistics Review, teachers, Jan rightly insisted, are not in the business of knowledge transfer. They are teaching students how to learn, guiding them in the art of identifying, observing, and formulating questions, training them in techniques for looking at, seeing, and attempting to understand what wasn't previously noticed or appreciated. In other words, the aim of teaching, we might say, is to develop students as ethnographers of their own world. I believe that your teachers, in whichever program you have been in, would find some meaning in this definition of teaching. I hope it reflects in some way your experience of learning. I believe that each program shares the root belief that learning how to see, really see, and listen, really listen, are our way to connect with the world around us. Making that connection matter is education's goal, and it is an embodied, full person, socially embedded process. It requires and invites intimacy, care, courage, and inquiry. Hopefully your learning cohort has provided you some practice in that work. So congratulations. I applaud you for all you have each accomplished. This period has been so extraordinary, and you have met its hardship with hard work, creativity, collaboration, and even joyfulness. We have all been learners and teachers together. In many cases, you as trailblazers in the online world, with us running behind. Together, we hopped on the Zoom train, rewiring ourselves to ride and steer it while it was being built around us. For many, this meant studying while teaching your own children, caring for aging parents, struggling with loneliness, breathless work schedules, and financial insecurity. For some, it meant studying while risking your lives as frontline workers or while marching for social justice. To some, it meant turning the cyber void into a meaningful learning space while delivering breakfasts or Xerox textbooks to students living on the other side of the digital divide. For some of you, it demanded adapting your research and doing your studies while moving between COVID hotspots. It meant studying while mourning and attending to the dead and the dying. The social isolation of lockdowns has allowed for, I hope, generative spaces that offer the stillness to reflect. The tsunami of global upheavals has turned up so much structural rot, injustices and destructive practices that should be impossible to walk around, deny, or ignore. Many of us are asking ourselves how to reconnect in this moment, how to live better in this connected but fractured world. SIT's mission, commitment to community learning, structure for reflection on and learning from one's experience have hopefully been useful in these times. Whichever of SIT's programs you happen to be receiving your degree from today, your work, and more importantly, how you do it, matters. Whether your title is teacher, humanitarian assistance worker, peace builder, mediator, farmer, researcher, community organizer, activist, parent, administrator, or just fellow earthling. It is a good time to pause and reflect on what others will learn from watching how we live now. Like others privileged to have a permanent home to lock down in, I found that reading was a great companion during this isolation. One of the books that I happened upon was an inventory of losses written in 2018 by the German author Judith Shalansky. The preamble of her book begins, "While I was working on this book, the Cassini spacecraft burned up in Saturn's atmosphere." She goes on for the rest of the page in very small print to list many of the losses that took place while she was writing. A plane that disappeared mid-flight, places of worship that were destroyed, a lake that dried up, age-old rock foundations that collapsed, rhinos that went extinct, and so on. Written 3 years ago, it is a sobering list of losses and an incomplete one at that. The next page begins, "While I was working on this book, an archivist at New York Schaeffer Library found in an almanac dating from 1793 an envelope containing several strands of gray hair belonging to George Washington." In the same small print as the previous page, Shalansky lists many hopeful findings: unpublished poems, pages from Anne Frank's diary, the deciphering of a 3,800-year-old alphabet, the sighting of blue-eyed ground doves thought to be extinct, the discovery of a new wasp species, the locating of a celestial body 1,400 light years from the sun. Reading these 2 pages back to back was so moving for me, not just for the lists, but to experience in my fingers the flipping of the page, to feel the thin edge of paper that separates and connects what is lost and what is found, the edge where we all live, some much more precariously than others. While I was working on this letter on the calm shores of a remote lake, the government of Afghanistan was collapsing on one side of the world, and lives and homes in Haiti were collapsing on the other. While you have been working on your degree, we have all been made aware of how precious and tenuous life is, how important it is to hold up others and to keep our collective balance. So in the spirit of lost and founds, I'll leave you with a few thoughts on what I hope you have lost and found while at SIT. I hope you have lost your fear of making mistakes, your need to compete or to be perfect, the weight that holds you back from seeing the potential goodness in others, your need for clarity and predictability, your confidence, but only if you have too much of it. I hope you have found your confidence. but only if you have too little of it. You'll have to figure that out. The willingness to learn from, with, and for others and the world around you. A few colleagues you can lean on and trust to expose your blind spots and unexamined assumptions. I hope you have found ways to create that kind of community wherever you are. I hope you have found a path to follow, an injustice that demands your attention and the will to work away at it, a question that tugs at you, a love of learning. I hope you have found a way to make time to be still, reflect, and play, a way to listen more deeply and graciously, an ability to question critically and inquire with humility. Mostly, I hope you have found a bit more about yourself, a kernel of goodness, which is different from being nice, that others will nurture and that you will spread and that someone will write about when you are gone. With love and best wishes to all of you. Leslie.
Thank you, Dr. Turpin. It is my pleasure now to introduce this year's student speaker, Danielle Purvis. Danny earned her MA today, in the Climate Change and Global Sustainability program. She previously has received an MA in Public Health from Emory University and her BA from Georgia State University. At SIT, she's had the opportunity to work with a human-environment interface and to advocate for the most vulnerable populations of our time, ecosystems. During her practicum at the Gund Institute for Environment, she collected forest and stream data and wrote a forestry research article for non-scientific audiences. For her capstone, which was just presented past week, she conducted research to evaluate the long-term impact of human activities on seagrass in Zanzibar. Danny embodies SIT's mission to prepare students to become effective intercultural leaders, professionals, and citizens. Please join me in welcoming Danielle Purvis.
Thank you very much. Saeed sort of stole the thunder of my speech, but I think you'll enjoy the repetition of the main messages. Being asked to be a commencement speaker is a great honor, but I have the unique opportunity to make meaning out of one of the most intense and bizarre experiences of my life, and I'm guessing for those of you who are earning a few letters behind your name today, or who are here to celebrate your accomplishments from August 2020, this has been a bizarre and intense experience for you too. I think the formula of a commencement speech includes some focus on the future, a call to action, or an inspirational speech about stepping into the world. But since most people have been fixated on the future since March 2020, and many of us entering the job market are totally fixated on our near futures, I thought it would be nice to reflect on the past year. It requires true commitment and grit to complete a master's degree, and many of us chose global graduate programs that also involve full immersions into new communities and cultures with new languages and new challenges. The rest of us chose hybrid programs that required us to fit graduate school into our busy lives while we continued working our jobs and taking care of our families. On top of the typical challenges of a graduate degree, the class of 2021 completed their degrees entirely or almost entirely during a global pandemic. My cohort, for instance, experienced a lockdown, then an evacuation, and then a lockdown and an evacuation. We spent half of our field methods courses quarantined in our rooms, looking at the field from Google Earth. For the class of 2020, you finished what is arguably the most intense and rigorous portion of your master's degrees. While the world was shutting down and life as we know it completely stopped, you kept going. Sometimes I think I shouldn't have completed this degree during a global pandemic. but now I'm really appreciative of the unique perspectives the experience has given me. In my first master's program in public health, I remember sitting in lecture halls in the US talking about case studies of other countries whose healthcare systems collapsed. How natural disasters could destroy any progress a country made toward rebuilding infrastructure or providing life-saving services. How crises could sow distrust and mixed messaging. Yet I've learned more from spending this year in other countries, seeing firsthand how a country must make hard decisions to close their borders to protect the health of their people, or to keep their borders open to sustain their economies and keep their people fed. How a country's limited resources can be stretched even more thinly during crises, and how easily systems fail, especially for countries that were already struggling. I've also experienced many beautiful personal and shared moments in this year. I got to see Iceland without tourists, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. In 2020, we had the largest global reduction of greenhouse gas emissions since World War II. In spite of our challenges and limitations, we've prevailed just as much as the world does, with flexibility, creative solutions, community building, and hope. I'm completing this experience with a blend of gratitude for the resources available to me and a commitment to see these bountiful resources distributed as equitably as possible. I'm completing this experience with the global lens of how we are inextricably connected to each other and to our natural environment. And I know more than ever before that the ways of this world are unsustainable and must change, and that we get to be on the front lines of building new bridges and creating a new way of life. If you are ever daunted by this challenge, I hope you will be motivated and inspired by your classmates, your mentors, and most importantly, yourself. Our accomplishments are in part a credit to our incredible family members, friends, and support networks that stayed behind and held down our forts, like my fiance tuning in from Georgia right now, or those who stayed by our sides when we needed it the most, like my parents who spent the majority of their vacation in Vermont making me food and entertaining themselves while I worked. Many of us put some part of our lives aside to complete our degrees, and our most gracious and loving support networks took care of those parts of our lives. So thank you from the bottoms of our hearts. Maybe some of you need a new goal to work toward and are invigorated by a future of possibilities. Maybe some of you prefer to reflect on the accomplishments of your past. But every graduate at this commencement and everyone who's been by our sides should appreciate this moment right now and celebrate our incredible achievements. It's a real honor to celebrate with you today, and I know we will accomplish great things in the future. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce this year's keynote speaker, Ms. Aisha Naomi Cooper. Aisha is a World Learning Board member and an international development expert at the World Bank, and she's also an alum of SIT Graduate Institute. She is dedicated to supporting efforts to improve the lives of marginalized people around the world. A Liberian American, she brings an important perspective to the development space by drawing from her experience of living through the Liberian Civil War. A frequent speaker and champion for the rights of women and children, Ms. Cooper believes in the power of the human connection through storytelling as a means of finding common ground to build a more peaceful world. She has shared her personal refugee story of resilience with many audiences, including for SIT students, faculty, and partners to raise awareness of the global refugee crises and the impact of civil conflict on women and children. She views challenges as opportunities and works in close partnership with others to find solutions to some of our world's development challenges. Ms. Cooper holds a BA in International Studies from the University of Minnesota, Duluth, and we're proud to say an MA in Sustainable Development, International Policy and Management from SIT Graduate Institute. As a graduate of our Washington, D.C. campus, and she has not therefore attended our Vermont commencement ceremony before. So welcome, finally, Aisha, to this ceremony. Graduates, I know she is excited to be here and be involved in this ceremony as you are. Please join me in a warm welcome for Aisha Naomi Cooper.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for that introduction. Just getting settled here. Good morning, everyone. It is a great day to be here in Brattleboro to stand with you in celebration of your courage, commitment, and resilience in reaching the finish line. Chief Executive Jenkins and President Howlett, faculty, distinguished guests here on campus and those connected via live stream, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2020 and 2021. Wow, today is a special day because I'm excited to be in Brattleboro, walking the grounds of SIT. As an alumna, it is an honor to be here, this time not as a student in pursuit of a master's degree, but I'm here at this time to be your commencement keynote. Thank you for this gracious invitation. Today, I want to share with you the importance of harnessing the power of your stories in paving the path ahead. There is so much power in your stories, which serves as an opportunity to learn from the past, embrace your present, and act for the future. You know, when I meet people, I'm drawn to their stories. I want to know their wow factor. What challenges did they have to overcome? What inspires them? What life lessons have they learned? You may be also wondering, well, Aisha, how has SIT shaped your story? Well, my story is this. I am from Liberia, a small country in the west coast of Africa. As a young girl, I had to live through a 14-year civil war that decimated my country's educational, health, socioeconomic, and political systems. At a young age, I experienced the negative impact of war on women and children. I also escaped on a cargo ship in quest for safety. I almost lost my life. I became a refugee in Ghana, where I encountered humanitarian workers and development practitioners, global citizens like you, who are equipped and committed to change our world. I admired their passion for service, the risk they took to work in fragile, conflicted areas to help others like me. I knew without a doubt that when I grew up, I wanted to be like them, to help the less fortunate. I believe that you too have a similar desire, which has made our paths cross at SIT today. And like you, I attended SIT because I believed in its compelling mission to create the next generation of intercultural leaders, professionals, and global citizens. For me, SIT was the window into the future, the path I needed to take to realize my life's aspiration to work as a development practitioner, and today for the world's leading international finance institution. My aspiration may be different from yours, but we share a common goal to working to make our world a better place. So what about you? What challenges and opportunities are woven into your story? Our current world affairs have challenged us to adapt, pivot, and learn new lessons. We've also seen the emergence of new challenges due to COVID-19 pandemic, environmental stressors, income disparities, and socioeconomic barriers that hold injustice and inequality in place. Given the state of our world, each of you had to maintain determination, hope, perseverance amid uncertainty. Your journey here today has not been an easy one. You have had real-life hurdles to overcome to be here today. Some of you have endured financial challenges, emotional stress, health issues, and even grief. You had to adjust to new ways of learning with technology. Some of you had to respond to personal and family matters and deal with loneliness while staying so dedicated to your education. Please join me in a moment of silence in honor of the lives of faculty, family members, and friends we have lost due to COVID-19. Thank you. These challenges served as pivotal moments in your story. They made you stronger. It is the resilient spirit, courage, and strong determination that make up your story and build the leaders that is within each of you. Today, despite all that you had to endure, I hope, like me, you consider it a privilege to earn a degree from SIT. Because there are too many young people around the world, especially girls, who have been robbed of their full potential due to poverty, war, and even the lack of access to quality education. As we gather here, the world is witnessing grave humanitarian challenge in Haiti. The people of Afghanistan face a political and humanitarian crisis, one that is creating thousands of refugees and internally displaced persons, and also putting a grave threat on women and girls. With these complex and sensitive issues, you and I, we all must act. We must use the innovative skills we have gained from SIT to lead the way forward. Today is evidence of your drive to take action toward achieving your dreams, your aspirations, and commitment to tackling some of our world's real problems. No matter how familiar or different we may be, your stories, our stories matter. Your dreams are valid. You are built for that dream and have what it takes to make it a reality. When I look at you and those connected as well, I see world changers, I see greatness in you. Make the impossible your reality, filled with determination that leads you to endless possibilities. As you journey on, stay rooted in the power of your story. Those gems that make you unique, powerful, fierce, and fearlessly you. Remember, too, there is strength in humility, and that a career built on self only goes so far. Instead, recognize the work of others. Be empathetic and a collaborator. Use your voice and influence for the good of others. When in doubt, remember the world needs you, that someone, somewhere on the other side of the world needs you. Even you need you. I encourage you to continue a strong desire for learning, to cultivate a positive mindset and attitude. Adapt a strong sense of self-awareness. Be intentional about how you show up for yourself and others, and how you build and sustain meaningful relationships like the ones you formed with your cohort. These will take you far. Zig Ziglar reminds us, it's your attitude, not your aptitude, that determines your altitude. As you leave here today, I wish you the very best on your journey. May you find your purpose, meld it, achieve it. Paint your legacy on the canvas of society with beautiful strokes and colors, symbolizing the importance of global responsibility, women's rights, human rights, diversity, inclusion, and leading with integrity. I encourage you to champion the solutions to climate change, political instability, and all forms of injustices that are deeply seated in the fabric of society. Lastly, I encourage you to be your authentic self. Never settle for mediocrity. Raise your standards and be your own kind of high standard. In all fairness, only then can you expect others to level up. Most of all, be a little gentle, a little kind to yourself, and never stop believing in the power of you. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you.
Thank you, Aisha. And now, we have some special business to attend to, namely conferring degrees to our magnificent students. So at this time, will the candidates for the degree Master of Arts please rise if you are able, or raise your hand, either here in person or online. And 2020 graduates, please join this year's candidates so that you may reenact your ceremony. President Howlett, in accordance with the recommendation of the faculty and the vote of the Board of Trustees, I request that you confer upon these candidates the degree of Master of Arts in recognition of their successful completion of all degree requirements.
On the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority granted by the State of Vermont and vested in the Board of Trustees of World Learning and the School for International Training, and by them delegated to me, I am pleased to confer upon the candidates the degree of Master of Arts, whether here in person in front of me or online, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. And I am pleased to remind all SIT Graduate Institute alumni here, in person or online, of those same rights, privileges, and responsibilities. Graduates, whether here or online, please indicate your new status by transferring your mortarboard tassel from right to left. We probably should have practiced this, right? Yeah. Okay, we're all good? Yeah, all right. Everybody good out there? We welcome you to the company of scholars. Congratulations. Please be seated. In the years ahead, when you think of the influences on your life, you will see the faces and hear the voices of many of your professors going on and on and on in your ear, right? Remember what they shared with you, especially the quest for excellence in all that you do. This is an appropriate moment for you to thank them for the role that they have played in the process of educating you. You should know that your faculty are watching and are sharing this moment with you across the world right now via live stream. I know how much they wanted to be here with you to share on this special day. So I ask all SIT faculty, past and present, online or here in person, to please stand and be recognized. Thank you. In addition, today would not be possible without the support and encouragement of your family and friends. And I'm thinking here of Danny's parents feeding her all week. It is your friends, both those outside SIT and within, including SIT's dedicated staff. It is your parents, partners, and children who have been there to support you in your quest for education. Again, we recognize that not all who supported you are able to join us today, here in person. So whether you are here, parents, friends, children, SIT staff members, World Learning colleagues, whether you're here or in your living room or in your makeshift office or the closet that you call your makeshift office, please, I ask all of you who have encouraged and helped these graduates to please stand wherever you are and be recognized. Please stand. Please, you can stand, yeah? You're not sure if you helped. It's like, there'll be lots of other opportunities to be thanked. I now invite the graduates who are graduating in person to come forward so that your faculty, your friends, and your families can acknowledge your achievements. Our staff will assist you. Upon approaching the stage, Dean Inskeep and Dr. Turpin will alternately read your name and place your master's hood upon you. Dean Zoll and I will present you with your diploma cover and congratulate each of you as you cross the stage. Carla Lineback will present you with a rose when departing the stage to symbolize your joining of the alumni community. After leaving the stage, please return to your seats and remain seated for the remainder of the ceremony. I know who she is, but I need to read the whole card. Tamara Brody Devine, Master of Arts, teaching English to speakers of other languages. Damon J. Hastings, Master of Arts in Teaching English to speakers of other.
Blake Edward Dixon, Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability. Danielle Marie Purvis, Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability. Nathaniel Corbin Johns, Master of Arts in Peace and Justice Leadership.
Emily Josephine Cyrier, Master of Arts in Teaching English to speakers of other languages. Ciara Nicole Erdl, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Avery Claire Hollander, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Brooke K. Norvish Streck, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Amy Corrine Parks, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Kate Marie Steckmest, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages.
I just want to make sure we have done all of our in-person graduates, 20 and 21. Yes, excellent. Congratulations, everybody. Yes. So now we also have other graduates out there who are now going to read the names of the students who are graduating via live stream. And this may include, in some cases, a special graduation message from some of those students. Catherine and Leslie, yes.
Christy N. Bray, Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability. Amanda Berman, Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability. Francesca Cresta, Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability. Here's Francesca's message. All the things I learned at SIT cannot be taught through reading articles and turning pages. And we have read a lot of articles and turned a lot of pages. What has changed me the most were the experiences, sharing, being part of something bigger, overcoming. I want to thank my friends from the capstone cohort, all the wonderful people we met along the way, all professors and staff, and my capstone advisor, Reen. Just like we have done through these 12 months, we will manage to stay close to one another, no matter where from. Catherine Rose Lloyd, Master of Arts in Climate Change and Global Sustainability.
So the next ones are for the Master of Arts in Humanitarian Assistance and Crisis Management. Lahaina Driss, Master of Arts in Humanitarian Assistance and Crisis Management. Nadia Leigh Wiggins, Master of Arts in Humanitarian Assistance and Crisis Management.
From the degree of Master of Arts in Intercultural Service Leadership and Management, Aj Marshall. Eric B. Sussman. And Eric's message. I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the former and current faculty and staff at SIT, as well as my friends and family in PIM 77 and Matt 49. This was an incredible experience I won't soon forget, and I couldn't have done it all without you. All power to the people, fist to heart, always, Eric. Richard John Whitmer.
And the next batch is from Master of Arts in International Education. Luis Augusto Silva Bastista, Master of Arts in International Education. And with the following note. The School for International Training taught me the utmost relevance of participation in a globalized society, cross-cultural practice, and enabled me to experience a different side of the United States from where I grew up. I express my gratitude and hopefulness to our brilliant future. Luis Batista. Shadi F. Ilham, Master of Arts in International Education. Nicole Renee Melendez, Master of Arts in International Education. Ana Ani Propatilipo, Master of Arts in International Education. Shannon Lindsley Tobin, Master of Arts in International Education.
From the degree of Master of Arts in Peace and Justice Leadership, Rachel Ketenyingi, who shares this message. A big thank you to all of our professors for guiding us through the course, to my classmates, Yelena and Corbin, and all the classmates we started with. Congratulations, and thank you for making this journey much easier and sometimes fun. Finally, a big shout out to Atlas Corps for my scholarship. Yelena Koge, Master of Arts in Peace and Justice Leadership. From the degree Master of Arts in Sustainable Development, Nyasha Frank Chabanda. He shares these words. As I celebrate this achievement, I'm incredibly grateful to God who turned my dream to pursue graduate school studies in the US a reality against all odds. I also want to thank my capstone advisor, Dr. Joseph Lanning, program chair, Dr. Allison DeGang, all faculty members, and SDLR 2019 cohort. You truly made this the best learning environment and best experience for me. Finally, I want to thank my family, and I would particularly like to single out my beautiful wife, Z, for being my rock and biggest cheerleader throughout graduate school. Randall Stephen McCoy, Master of Arts in Sustainable Development. Charles Agborida Maforto, Master of Arts in Sustainable Development. Ren Soy Guan Singh, Master of Arts in Sustainable Development. Terrence shares with us these words. My time with SIT was blessed with deep learning and reflective sessions turned into practical work in my world. Thank you to the faculty and staff for your sacrifice and efforts in facilitating my learning. A shout out to my cohort for being a great support, and I'm proud to call you great friends too. My family is my strength, so this graduation is to also celebrate my beautiful wife and 2 kids. I am grateful and love you all. Christine Puff, Master of Arts in Sustainable Development. Derek Joseph Schwartz, Master of Arts in Sustainable Development. Kennedy Irene Stood, Master of Arts in Sustainable Development.
The next list is Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Matthew Barge, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Ana Palomino, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Matthew Harrison Peters, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Anita Chan, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. Elizabeth Noel Wischer Krajcik, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages.
We would also like to recognize the recipients of the Graduate Certificate in International Education. Donna Merwes, and Jenny J. Robinette.
Congratulations to you all. That's incredible. And I think it gives you a sense of how many people are out there cheering everybody on here today, just as they've been hearing us clapping in this auditorium. So thank you and congratulations again. I would now like to ask Carla Lineback, Director of Alumni and External Engagement, to come to the podium.
Thank you, President Howlett. Congratulations, graduates, here and around the world. It's truly my pleasure to welcome you to the SIT and World Learning family, a vibrant and growing network of over 125,000 change makers from all parts of the globe. We are peace builders, diplomats, development practitioners, humanitarian workers, language instructors, and active community builders. The Office of Alumni Engagement is here to support your efforts as you make your mark on the world. I look forward to celebrating your successes, and I encourage you to maintain the connections you have made along your SIT journey by staying in touch with your peers, our network, and this organization. Please share a way for us to be in touch so that we may more widely share your stories and share opportunities with you. In the words of Nobel laureate and SIT alumna, Jody Williams, if we want a world where peace is valued, we must teach ourselves to believe that peace is not a utopian vision, but a real responsibility that must be worked for each and every day in small and large ways. Congratulations again, and we're excited to see all the ways, both small and large, that you will make the world a more sustainable, peaceful, and just one.
On this day, the 21st of August in the year 2021, the School for International Training has officially conferred degrees on these graduates. Graduates, go forward with courage and grace, carrying with you the traditions, strengths, and dreams of this institution. On behalf of the trustees, faculty, and staff, I declare that the 55th annual commencement exercises of the SIT Graduate Institute have now concluded. Our warm congratulations to all the graduates, wherever you are, and their families. Those of you present here in Vermont, please join us after the ceremony for a reception in the Lowy International Center, which is right here. We hope those of you not present in person will enjoy a celebration with friends and family wherever in the world you are. Faculty and platform party, please return your regalia to room 101 of the Lowy International Center. Students here in Vermont, please return your regalia and pick up diplomas in room 106 of the Lowy International Center. Students connecting by live stream, you will receive your diploma soon via the postal service. We ask the audience to remain in your places until the academic procession and the graduates have recessed. Thank you all.